It feels pretty good for us to have made it for 40 years. Myself, it's been 5 on my own, I guess. You know, I've got good counsel, so.
"40 Years of the Business Journal" is sponsored by Compco and these participating sponsors.
We're a commercial truck dealer, and we focus on the vocational truck market, which is dump trucks and, you know, everything related construction, road paving, that type of thing. So that's kind of our specialty there.
So would you say like contractors and government agencies? Or
we do some municipalities, so we have, you know, plow trucks with salt spreaders, that type of thing, and then we also, you know, guys who are contractors on road paving jobs. When we first started selling trucks, it was mostly owner-operators, over-the-road truck drivers, owner-operators and sleeper trucks, and we evolved over the years to concentrating on smaller businesses who had multiple trucks, and further focused on doing the vocational side of the market. But yeah, it started out as Dad back in 1984, and we've grown up to 35 at this point.
And when did you get involved?
Well, I started going in on like Saturday mornings and stuff when I was 6 years old, and most of that was just running around getting dirty. But I had my duties of mopping the bathroom floor and stuff like that. Yeah. And then once we moved here in '92, I was actually helping to do some service work on trucks and scrub bays and that type of stuff around here until I was old enough to drive, and then I was the go-getter, you know. I worked for my parents up through being in college. I went to Ohio University in Athens, and I got a degree in industrial technology. And from there, I went to Parker Hannifin, and I worked in outside of North Carolina, Forest City, North Carolina, and Elyria, Ohio, and left there. And then I worked for another small business right around the corner from here, Precision Machine Controls. And then I left there and came back home. So I started back after my college years and a couple years away. Gosh, when was that? Was probably 2002 I came back. And I've been here since, working in multiple aspects. So working in the parts department, the service department, and then got into sales. And I took over doing all the IT responsibility and that stuff. And then in 2008, went to the Truck Dealer Academy, and 2009 basically took over as general manager. Worked at that for a while, and then in 2018, December 2018, we did a buy-sell agreement with my parents to transition to the next gen. Our vision over the next decade or so is to basically have each one of our like operating entities work, you know, independently from each other. So 3 different business units: our truck dealership, one; our truck upfitting business, another; and then our ag store, the tractors and mowers, as being its own unit too. With the supply chain issues that happened post-2020, the availability of trucks was very limited. So it really, you know, we've had virtually no inventory since then. Everything's out on order, and how many we can get per year has been limited. And I had been approached by Mahindra Tractors before, and they had approached me again. It was like, well, why not? We need more to sell. So my sales manager was at a training thing for Western Star actually, and he was talking to another salesperson who they actually had the tractors as well and had been successful at it. So we thought we'd give it a try, and next thing you know, I'm signing up for all kinds of stuff. So And then we just decided to branch that out on its own. Well, as far as like parts and service, we get a lot of people who come through the door looking for parts or service. Pretty repetitive, repeat customer base. And then sales-wise, we have guys who are out in the field, knocking on doors. That's most of the sales, activity takes place outside. We do have some who show up, but most of that does happen outside. And it's local businesses that we deal with. There's always been hurdles. COVID was definitely a unique one that I got to experience right off the get from taking over. So, but that came with all kinds of changes when they had all their different rulings and whatnot to comply with. It seemed like it changed every 5 minutes, so you were always redoing policies and everything. But we've had our share. In 2008, with the financial crisis, business really slowed down. So that was probably the first time we ever had a layoff, which was a couple people. So unfortunately, that was something that was very hard. And then again in 2020, we were very, very slow then. Today's market, it's kind of backpedaling a little bit on the over-road business. The business we're mostly focused on, the vocational, is pretty strong. Like I was talking earlier, there's still quite a bit of backlog there. So the manufacturers with the supply chain shortages made most of their production geared towards the over-the-road guys, because that's where the big mega fleets are, and they were trying to keep them happy, I'm sure. And so their production on the vocational stuff wasn't as much. And so now they're trying to dig back at that backlog. So we've probably got a year or two left of fulfillment to make happen. It feels pretty good for us to have made it for 40 years. Myself, it's been 5 on my own, I guess. I've got good counsel, so. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. It doesn't seem like it's been that long. It went pretty fast, but.
No, it doesn't.
"40 Years of the Business Journal" is sponsored by Comco and these participating sponsors.